Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to check out the unboxing of my brand new tumbler heat press. This thing will do a 20 ounce, a 30 ounce, or 2 mugs at once. So stick around. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela with Flip and Flutter Creations, and today we are going to unbox my new tumbler heat press. So I got tired of using the mug press attachment that came with my old heat press, and instead I went ahead for tumbler purposes. I went ahead and ordered a tumbler press off of Etsy, and it got here super quick. I'll link it down below for you guys. It had really good reviews, so we're gonna kind of check it out. So we're gonna go ahead and get this open, and we will test one out to see how it goes. So this came from Sassy Designs. It's a 30-ounce sublimation mug press. It's a 9-in-1, so it can do, I believe with this one I can do 2 mugs at a time. So if I wanted to use this instead of my mug press, I could also do 2 at one time depending on the size of them. So this is in case you wanted to know, and it was $390 plus shipping. I did have a coupon, so I was able to save almost the amount of my shipping, which was great. I'm gonna open that up. So not a cheap investment, but I'm really excited about it. And so here is her little user manual, which is great because I've heard that sometimes they don't have a manual. Oh, this is good. It's got everything there, how to change everything. Perfect. Okay. So it's got the nice styrofoam in here too. So we're gonna see if we can't just lift this up and out. Almost there. Cord. All right. I was curious how big it was going to be because I'm not sure where it's going to be located yet. If I'm going to put it in my office or if I'm going to put it out in the garage with the other presses. Okay, I'm just going to cut this because that's going to be quicker. Oh, it's so pretty. And there are different colors you can get. I just went with black because they didn't have a purple. So they only had, I think it was pink, a mint, and maybe a silver, but I figured the black is clean and, you know, wouldn't get as dirty as a white one would, and then the other 2 colors didn't really match my setup. Okay, that's all that's in the box. So here's what we've got here. It has the green button to turn it on. It's got a nice open spot here, which is beautiful. You can see how large it is. So what I did is, and then this would be where we would tighten that up whenever we put our cup in there to make sure we've got a good push, a good press on there. This is nice. I love it. Okay, so you can see it's really large, which is great because I've got a 20 ounce and a 30 ounce here. And I thought we'd just test it and make sure they fit. So here's the 20 ounce skinny, and oh yeah, plenty of room, which is awesome because no more getting, you know, little spots because you didn't slide it back and forth. Now, if I have my 20 ounce in there, it's going to need to be tightened up a little bit, but I don't want to do that just yet. But it does have a little gap, so I still will have to turn it once, just flat over, and then press it again. But no more having to do it in the quadrants and then flipping and quadrants. So it's going to be a lot nicer. So 30 ounce certainly fits with plenty of extra space. I might bring out some mugs too so we can test them out. This is a 30 ounce skinny, and I get my tumblers from Inkfinity. So I'll link those down below. Oh, and the 30 ounce fits so nice. There's still so much space. I thought it was gonna like just barely fit, but there's about at least a quarter and then at least a ½ inch on that side. And again, I'm still gonna have to do it once and then flip it But on the 30 ounce, my mug press, I attempted to make one, and I can show you that in just a second. And it just messed up completely because it was too many switches, and then the top and the very bottom, it didn't quite get them dark enough. So I'll have to show you those in just a sec. The 30 ounce fits beautifully in there. There's still a little bit of space. Really excited about that. And oopsie, I think when I was putting the 20 ounce back, I said that was a 30 ounce, but that was the 20. So the 20 and the 30 both fit beautifully. Yay. So it's only a 2 press that will have to happen, which is fine with me. But here was the example of the tumbler that I did on my mug press. Like here's the seam, which actually came out mostly decent, but you can see where I had to press to do the turn, and then the bottom and the top just did not get dark enough because when I stuck it through, it just was not large enough with the 30 ounce, and it didn't quite, like I had to go too far in to make sure the bottom, and it wasn't good enough. And I gave up and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to go with a tumbler press. Now, I went into the office real quick and I grabbed, got stuff all over me. I grabbed 2 of my mugs so we could see how a mug works in them. And I tend to do, I haven't done like a full wrap mug just yet, but I tend to do like something here and something here. So I wouldn't need to flip it and do it again. But let's see. They say that 2 should fit in there. There's 1 and there's 2. And they're too big for me to close it all the way without getting it too tight, but I can loosen those and look how well those fit in there. So 2 mugs at a time. So if you're doing a large order, this is definitely going to save some time. So I'm super excited about that. We're going to turn it on and test all of the things out. There is a plastic here that we can take off. Those are always so satisfying when you do those. Love it. She's got a little nameplate that she's put on it. That'd be cool if it could be your name. I would love that if I could have my business name here instead, but maybe I'll put a sticker and put my logo here or something. So I'm really excited to try this out. We will plug it in and test it out we're going to start with just a 20 ounce and see how it goes. So thanks for helping me unbox this, and now let's go test it out. All right, guys, I got the new tumbler press hooked up. I actually heated it up and had to cool it back down because I forgot to make sure that I measured it. So I just got my new tumbler press in, and we unboxed it, and now we are going to test out a tumbler and see how it goes. I've already done this once on my mug press and it didn't work out very well, which is what led me to purchase this, and hopefully I see some great results. So before I start, still a little warm, but I just need to test it out to see the pressure. So we're just going to stick that in there and close it up, and then it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. So we need to tighten it up just a bit. The problem is, there you go, you can kind of see it tightening. It says to keep loose pressure, but you can kind of make sure, you want to make sure they're kind of even. Side more. Okay. It was probably set perfectly for the 30 ounce. I think I made it really light. Let's see. I don't feel any resistance yet, so I'm going to keep going. Wait, which way was I going? Oh, that's going to. We're going this way. And get this one. Okay. Trying to keep them even, because we want even pressure on there. Okay, now I'm feeling some. There we go. That almost, man, if that just went just a little bit more, we wouldn't even have to do a rotation. So I think that's good. It's not super loose. And sorry about the lighting, guys. My other light died, but I've got to get this cup done. So it is what it is. It's not loose, but you don't want it, I don't think you want it too loose. Everybody I've talked to that does cups says that if it's too loose, then it doesn't get a nice color on it. I probably need to wipe this with alcohol because I've got my fingerprints all over it. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. It's just the little green button. I've got it plugged in here. It's the only place I could find to put it for right now, guys, so just bear with me. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet. It might go in the garage with the other ones, but for now, I want to at least test it out. Now, you've got some different buttons here. You had your green power button. You saw how we fixed our pressure to tighten or loosen. And then we are going to set the temperature. Now, it does say you just hold the set button down, and, oh, we want Fahrenheit, okay? And I don't know what I've done here. Okay, I'm guessing, let's just clear. Oops. We're gonna go back out of here real quick. There we go. Okay, I think I have to wait till it heats up because it wasn't doing that to me a moment ago. All right, so it heats up pretty quickly. It's got a counter here that will tell you every time you use it. You can hit the clear button. You got to hold it down for like 8 to 10 seconds, and then it finally clears out the numbers if you need to reset it for whatever reason. Heats up pretty quick. I actually set it a little too hot. The directions that they send you, it says for tumblers to do 356 Fahrenheit and then for 60 seconds. Now, the only thing that it doesn't tell me is it 60 seconds open turn and then another 60 seconds or 60 seconds total? So we're going to try it by doing 60 flip 60. It might be too much. Maybe we'll see. We may end up having to redo it. I'm not sure. I was trying to find some information online, but I can't really find anything, at least not yet. And I wanted to see and try and get this done. So while this heats up, whoops, sorry. So while this heats up, I'm going to trim my design down. Okay. So I'm just going to use a paper cutter so that my lines are nice and neat. Although I just attempted to film this a moment ago, and it was not giving me very clear lines, which was a little annoying, but we're going to see if we can't get it a little better. Okay, so we're just going to trim this up. Actually, I'm going to do these next. Actually, no, let's do this next. And it's had time to dry. I just had to reprint it from what I had before. Okay, we're going to get it as close as we can because I did have to stretch the design to make it a little bit wider. The design I bought on Etsy is not as, it's too big. All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this one. Actually, yeah. Trim this down, and then we're going to have to see how much more trimming we need to do. Okay, there's our top. I need to get a new paper cutter, guys. This one's getting a little old. So don't forget to mirror your design, of course. Big thing. And now I should be, oh, that's much better. Okay. I had none. I printed this and it didn't even match up. It was like barely on the edge. So the way that you can line this up is you line it up with the top, and you're going to go as tight as you can. Now, before I do that, I am going to clean my tumbler real quick, just super quick with some alcohol. So I'm just going to clean this with alcohol. I've got my handy dandy little push bottle that I got from the Dollar Tree and a lint-free cloth, which is a hot mess, so don't mind it. It's been washed a million times, but it's got all the different colors on it from all the lovely fun things that I do. And I'm just going to dry it, make sure it's all dry before I put my design on it. Okay, we'll let that air out for just a second. And then what we're going to do while we let that air before I put it up against it is I'm going to go ahead and set this. So I accidentally, thinking I was so smart, I set it to my normal temperature, which is 385. But upon further review, it needs to only be 356. So we're going to click set. Oh, see, it did make me do this before. Okay, we like the Fahrenheit. SC, I don't know what SC is. Just holding this down to get out of this. Okay, there we go. So I had to close it once to be able to get the actual settings I want. I don't know what all those other things were, but we got to turn it down to 300. Whoop, sorry, it's kind of loud. Get that down to 356. And then I'm going to turn it down to, no, we're going to leave it at 60. It says 60 seconds. But again, I don't 100% know if that is going to be too much, because I am going to have to flip it. So here's what we're going to do. And I'm in my skinny little office here, so it's a little tight, guys. So we're going to start by using the top of our tumbler as our guide. Okay. And you want to go as tight as you can and run this along. So basically, and it's okay if you have a little tiny lip at the top. I'm gonna be okay with leaving a little lip. I would rather have the slight white around the top than have issues with my design. So I'm just going to put this down and kind of push so that it makes sure that it's right along the edge there. Okay, looks pretty even. Now, which side was my better side? Either one, I think. Okay, so we are going to use this side down, I think. Make sure it doesn't cut into that flower. I think it is going to. Okay, so we're going to do this side down because this has the flower or the feather. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of make sure I've got it nice and tight. Just kind of making sure. We're going to use the tape, and I'm going to start in the middle and just kind of push that. Now, I want to make sure that I've got this nice and tight here. I am going to have to trim this paper. I just realized I should have trimmed that before I started taping. Oh, like now. Actually, I could still peel that up, but I might be okay with just trimming this. All right, I probably should have trimmed this before I started, but we're gonna try and see if I can't go around the edge right here and just use the cup as my guide. So I'm just running the scissors along my cup so that I keep it that nice even line. So again, I'm just using the cup as my guide. You don't want a whole bunch of extra here, because then when we try to fold it, it's going to get those little crisps, which it kind of has a little bit of right now, which means there's going to be air pockets. You know what? Okay, let's not be lazy. We're going to just start again. Hopefully I don't ruin this by taking this tape off, because there's one other step I forgot. So let's try that again. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we need to just trim this just a tad on the purple. Okay, so it's got a nice line on the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to trim, I mean, just a minute amount. And I start it in the middle because on the edge it doesn't like to give me a clean cut. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't too much, guys. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to roll it with this part down and then just a slight overlap, I'm actually going to add a piece of heat tape right here, because what that'll do is wherever there's an overlap, it will keep it from getting too dark there, because we don't want that to be dark. So we're just going to put this, oh, I wasn't watching the bottom, I'm watching the top. just going to put this along the edge, and I'm just going to run it down, pick it up, and then just cut this off. And there, what that'll do is anywhere that it is overlapping, that middle section, that seam, is not going to be like super, super dark from the having the double wrap there. Okay, so we're going to start there, and this is much better. So make sure that you have your design with the up, so my words are facing that way, and that's where the opening of my cup is. You don't want to accidentally put it on upside down. I've seen a lot of people say they do that. So, and then what you're going to do is just very tightly wrap this around, okay? Kind of as if you're taking like a Christmas roll and you're trying to tighten it to where it's all level. Now, I am going to have a little gap at the bottom, but I am okay with that. The big thing is just trying to make sure it's level. And it's level at the top. My two pieces are lining up nicely there, but it is not at the bottom. And I can see where I've maybe cut that a little. I trimmed it a little too off. So I'm just going to take this and just, boop, that should do it right there. And I'm just trying to grip this as tight as I can to make sure that's still a little bit off. Oh, well, okay. Let's do it this way then. I'm putting it down on a flat surface and just trying to line it up this way. Because right now, that's my biggest issue, is this is not lining up perfectly. And when it sublimates, it's going to show that very little line right there. So I'm just trying to line these up. So if you're wondering what in the world are you doing, that is what I'm trying to do. But it's very difficult to actually get it to, there we go, to move without the whole thing moving. There we go. Okay, got that side. And then the top is off a little. Okay, so somewhere there is a slight difference, and I don't know if it's at the bottom or at the top. So we're gonna fix the top. This is really the hardest part, guys, and I'm still new to this, so this takes me a little longer. There we go. Nope. There we go. All right, the bottom is level. Top is slightly off, but it actually is right above. Here, we're going to tape it and we'll go from there. Okay, so as I'm taping, I push the bottom and then I'm just kind of pulling on it so that hopefully that bottom is nice and tight. And then I'm going to do the same right here in the middle. That down and then pull back, and then the same thing, I'm going to do it again. Just because I'm trying to keep any gaps, because any gaps mean that's where you'll have white or an area that is not as dark as the rest. Oop. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that little tiny bit. Ha, got it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to grab a long piece and I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm just going to do a peel. I'm going to do one up the seam just to make sure that stays, and I'm pulling nice and tight on this. Oops, I didn't get enough. And I have a little tool that I'm going to use in just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to add this right there, and I'm pull in nice and tight. I'm gonna fold down just a little bit, just so that I'm able to pull that up. Okay, now what you wanna do, find my tool, okay? You wanna use either your fingernail, something to make sure that you get this seam down, okay? So I'm going, oh, and there went my other light, guys. Jeez. I'm just going really tight along the seam, that way and this way, just to make sure that that seam is pushed together, and hopefully you won't even be able to see it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tape along the bottom and I'm going to tape along the top. Now I used to do where I went 1, 2, boop, boop, boop. That takes forever. But I watched a video and they literally just go along the top. I am going to start right here because I know I have that nice tape piece right there, and hopefully that will help. And I'm just going to try to kind of tightly, oh, I may have messed up my tape. Nope. I'm just kind of pulling as I go around and pulling. I think I got just the right amount. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, and then just going to kind of push that down as I'm kind of pushing on it like that. Now, the reason why I did my tape like I just did is because I have this little peel here. So when I'm ready to take this off, this should help peel off this top layer as well. And I'm just going to run that along. Just make sure that's on there really nice. Again. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And I could tell that I got that pretty tight because the top, there were no areas where they like ruched together. So hopefully that means that I got my seam there nice and tight. And now I'm just doing the same with the bottom. I'm going along and I'm just kind of pulling tight as I go along the bottom. Okay, so same thing there. And then, okay, just kind of rubbing that in. And I'm going to use this little guy and just go along that seam. Just to make sure there's no air. It's down nice and tight. I don't know if I really need to use this on the bottom and the top, but I figure, hey, it can't hurt. Okay. And I don't really need to do that on the top because there's no spot. So I will have a little white gap right here, but honestly, that's better, I think, than having it get messed up on the bottom. Like this one that I tried before, you can see where it kind of ruched where I put the tape. See, like that's like ruching or whatever. It's like pushing together. Okay, so we're going to try to avoid that, and we're going to try to avoid the seam line. So we're going to see what happens. It doesn't say that you need a piece of paper around it. So print the sublimation, mirror the image, take off the lid, use low pressure. Okay, well, here we go, guys. Moment of truth. Now I am going to put my heat glove on because once I get ready to flip it, I'm going to need to be able to turn it pretty quickly, and it is going to be super duper hot. So, and I'm surprised they don't want you to use like a butcher sheet, but anybody I've seen, they don't use butcher, but I don't have any blank paper in here or anything. So we're just going to go with it and hope that that's the case. Whew. All right, moment of truth. I'm going to put the seam up, and that way I can, when I go to flip, I can just put the seam down because I know where the seam's at here and here on my back end. Okay, so here we go, guys. Moment of truth. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm going to slide that in and I'm going to push it closed. and the timer automatically counts down. And here we go. Okay, I'm gonna let it beep. Okay, so that beep is kind of loud. Okay, and like I said, we're just gonna flip it right over and do it again. I honestly bet that that was already done. So if it is only supposed to be 60 seconds, because I could already see the design through the paper, if it is only supposed to be 60 seconds, then we probably need to do 30 and 30. But we're going to try this and we're going to see what happens. So fingers crossed. Okay, take that sucker out. It is super duper hot. Okay, whew. And I have my heat gloves on. Make sure you use protective covering. And let's see if we can get this. Oh, it might not work. Get those scissors. Oh, I can feel it through my gloves. I can't even hold that. Okay, so my plan might have backfired. There we go. Oh. Okay, there's one. Let's cut it. There's the bottom. Oh, I'm so nervous, guys. Hoping it works, but again, I might have put it on for too long. Oh, and I forgot. Remember how I accidentally, we're going to take this off. Okay. Remember how I had to do 2 different pieces? It doesn't help when you're using that as your, ha! Whew. It's so pretty. You guys. Oh, I think I got that seam beautiful. I'm trying to make sure I don't ghost it because it is still hot. Oh, you guys. Oh, look at that seam. I mean, I could still get better, but holy cow, look at that seam. Oh, it came out so beautiful. Oh, and look at the top. Gorgeous. That is the best line. Look at that bottom line. That is the best line I think I've ever gotten. Oh my goodness. 100% totally worth the investment, because if my cups come out like this every time, wow, because I can't tell you how many I've already ruined trying to use my mug press. So, oh my goodness. And they did not come out near as beautiful. There were marks in different spots. I am so beyond excited. So there you go, guys. There's the new heat press. And this is how well it worked. I mean, I've got photos there with dark and light colors. And I think it came out absolutely gorgeous. So 60 seconds, flip, 60 seconds. I'm going to keep on doing that until I see that there might be a problem. So yay! So Sassy Dame Designs is where I got this one. There's, I think, 5 different colors. It goes up to a 30 ounce. You can do 2 ceramic mugs in it. Like I tried out my 15 ounces, if you remember earlier in the video, and 2 15-ounce mugs worked perfectly. And it goes up to a 30-ounce skinny. So I'll be doing some 30 ounces then next. I can't wait. I'm so beyond excited and can't wait to keep on doing these. So if I can start knocking them out pretty quickly, maybe it'll pay for itself in a little bit. So that would be exciting. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified when I post my next video. Thanks for swinging by.